Hey guys, what's up? It's Kathy, and I'm here with another process video. Today I'm scrapping an older picture of my daughter from the her first major summer, so she would have been a little over one or so. And I'm start out thinking I'm going to use this vellum ampersand just to add a little bit of texture to the background. And by the end of it, I do cut it all out and don't use it. It's a Kim Watson exclusive hip kit cut file for subscribers. So you actually have to subscribe to the monthly kits to get access to it. But they're great kits. And a great cut file. Now, of course, I don't end up using it in the end, so I'll get to use it again in something else. But basically, I just kind of transitioned because it took me a really long time to get me to not see the tape runner so much because it's just a regular tape runner, so it's kind of blue. And I could see it, and then I kind of rubbed it off, and there were little pieces of rubbed off tape everywhere, and it was bugging me. And isn't it sad that I spent all that time, like I cut out quite a bit of me doing that. And in the end, I don't end up leaving it in anyway because you see so little of the ampersand that it was silly to even bother having it in the background. So I do something else, and you'll see that later. So I grabbed a few different kinds of papers that match well, I think. That tight floral, that tiny floral, that's from Studio Calico. The backside of it's that green kind of fireworks burst, and then that small yellow rose floral with the little polka dots, and then that kind of filigree orange and a yellow white polka dot. The orange and the little yellow rose are from this kit that I bought at a store called Winners, and it's just like a discount store. And it was for card making, so there were no like full sheets of paper. There were like strips of paper to do pre-made kind of cards. So I've just kind of kept them in my scraps ever since I bought them. Because I used to not really have access to a lot of stuff, so I would buy what I could find. And I really like the colors. So I'm glad I bought them, and now I get to finally use them because I'm pretty certain I've had them in my stash for at least 2 to 3 years. I'm off right now looking through my 6x6 paper pads to see if I can find maybe a peach, because that small floral from Studio Calico has like a peach pink in it. And in the end, I decide not to go with another layer anyway. I just leave it with those basic colors, like the orange, the green, and the yellow, with a little bit of accents. So my idea is I'm going to run a strip of crepe paper across it too, to add more dimension. I kind of go really textury for this layout, using a lot of things that have a lot of texture to them. So yeah, that ends up kind of being a little fun in the end, though this layout and the lighting doesn't seem too bad, but it was kind of at the beginning. I started filming this at night, and I was really tired, and I had to cut out about 17 minutes of me just fiddling around and going nowhere, to the point where I was exhausted and dropping things, and just so tired and frustrated with this layout because I couldn't decide what I was doing, that I just went to bed because it was past midnight, and I knew I had to get up with my kids in the morning. So I leave it, I come back to it in the morning, and I have a little, not a bit of an epiphany, but I kind of know what I'm gonna try to see if it works. So when I come back to it in the morning, I think the lighting's a little bit better, thankfully. So I'm gonna run that strip of crepe paper across in an accordion fold, bam, 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 really fast, because it's at 4 times speed. But I'm just accordion folding along a strip of tape runner, and that holds it really well. Like, you don't have to use glue. Use a dry adhesive, works really well. I will say this to anyone who's concerned. I am fairly certain crepe paper is not acid free, and if you were to use a color, you never know if there's moisture in the air, because I have accidentally spilled water on crepe paper, and the color immediately runs. So if you're using like pinks and whatnot, just be aware of that. Using mixed media after I didn't do that, but if you use mixed media after you use crepe paper, it will probably run. Um, and if you use a color one, you know, after years and years, the colors may run onto your papers. I'm not sure. I have used colored crepe paper, so I'm hoping everything works out and I don't have to worry about it. So I want to use this black and white baker's twine and just do kind of a loop-de-loop over top. And of course, my thought is, so how exactly do I attach that? I was thinking about using kind of a jute, but I decided I want the black and white twine. I like the contrast of that black and white against all the pretty light kind of kitchen summery colors. So I decided I'm going to use my tiny attacher because I could pretend, if I had a fine liner bottle, I would probably just glue it down or at least attempt to. I do not have a fine liner bottle. I am hoping to maybe eventually be able to pick one up. So I'm going to do that thing where I ran out of staples. I run out of a lot of things. So I went off and did it because I thought I was filming, but I wasn't focused. So I'm going to show you guys how I popped that open for anyone who's curious. Like that. And you just push down and it'll staple, but the staples will go straight through. And you'll have to fold them yourselves. And I use a thick piece of foam that I bought from Michael's that I'm showing you there, just a craft foam. And I'm showing you kind of how the staples just poke right out. And then you have to fold them up. So I do that off camera because I don't have a proper tool. So yeah, so I was just using scissors. So I didn't want to show me doing something dangerous. So this is the next morning. I've come back with a better idea. I made some fringe hearts 2 nights ago. And one of them I made was with the orange paper. And some of those papers from this card kit. So I decided I'm going to use that fringe heart, and this is the big heart that you see there with the orange on top, and then the green, and then the yellow. And I have these old, almost yarn-looking flowers, those white ones. You can see them there. And so this is kind of going, for me, really old school, because using a flower like that, I did not think I'd ever use those flowers again. I thought I was so past them, like, just no. You know, they're not cool anymore. They're not what the hip kids are using, all the cool kids. And I struggle a lot to find something to write down on the bottom there because I really wanted to use these gold ones up because I have a lot of them and they're just so pretty that I'm having a hard time using them because they're just, I don't know, it's so weird that I can't seem to use them. I do not end up using them, even though I mess around with them a whole bunch. And I did decide I wanted to still bring in some vellum, so I made vellum leaves. So I just cut out leaves myself. You know, a simple kind of like egg type shape, but of course pointed on both ends. And then I just folded them down the center for a little bit of dimension. And I found 2 wood veneer flowers that I liked, just to add in more texture and I don't know, more elements. You know, like I've got like a fabric going, and now I've got wood, and I've got the crepe paper, and I've got the twine. So it's like all these different, not like a fabric, but that kind of idea, like all these different elements that are tangible kind of on this layout instead of just papers. So I kind of go really old school. So I'm going to use, I'm getting in everyone's way. Sorry for my head. I just needed to be able to see what I was doing and how far down I was going. I'm using gelatos. This is like my 3rd time maybe. And I have a little glass of water. So I'm just dipping my finger in the water to spread them out. Sorry for my maroon hair. This does go really yellow. In hindsight, I probably wouldn't have done that. And put it directly on there, but I didn't realize the yellow was going to be so bright. I do put a little bit of white on it, and that kind of helps bring down the tone. I might have even done like more of a yellow watercolor just to have it be lighter. So, but it's done. Like, you know, I'm not going to go back and completely rip up this layout and put anything new down. And I'm just kind of making sure it sticks and everything. So the vellum is still underneath there. I just cut off where it was poking out. Because at this point, obviously, I wasn't going to use it there anymore. Oops, sorry. My head's in the way again. So I haven't brought in any black yet. And I have that black baker's twine. So I thought maybe I'd use these Dear Lizzie ones. And I do end up using them, but I do switch them around a lot. And then I make, like, you know, the big mistake of putting them somewhere where it's, you might mess something up. And I did use a little bit, I did bring in some gold. That heart, that little heart on top of the big fringe heart has gold polka dots. The big green ampersand is from Pink Fresh Studios Felicity Ephemera. And I loved the color. It matched perfectly and it brought in that green. So I decided I'm going to use it. You know, this is kind of that's where I make the mistake. Look at that. And it left this big new photo transition into, I had to go print a new photo. I could not get it off to save my life. Though that arrow and that happiness is from the Hillside Basic Gray collection, and it's beautiful, beautiful little collection. It's all like greens and browns and pinks, and I really like it. And I've got these DIY shop things, and I think my daughter's now here because she's like, oh, she sees herself on the camera, and she could see herself, and just, it was cute. So I'm debating, I'm trying to do a cluster of 3 of them, and I believe I end up moving 2 of those. They don't end up staying there. Yeah, I like that one there on top of the fringe heart. And I end up moving that one too. But yeah, these DIY shop ones, for anyone who subscribes to HipKit, they're going to be in the June one. If I'd known they were in the June one, I wouldn't have ordered them in my last haul. But now I've got like 4 packs of them, so I can use them in all my handmade embellishments that I want to do. So that's kind of exciting to me. I got lots to work with. So I don't mind getting doubles of stuff, especially when it's cute stuff. And this is my first Tidy Swap black color shine. I made sure I put a big drop there because I had some gelato kind of be there. But for the most part, for all the mess that I made, it ended up not too bad. So thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye!